The Bundy brothers were acquitted in Takeover of Oregon Wildlife Refuge. Okay, now there's a lot of blacks that's upset, and I must say that I'm tired of hearing blacks complain and moan and whine about what whites do versus what blacks do. You know, blacks, you have to stop comparing yourselves with whites. There's two different situations going on here. Okay, and I understand what you guys are saying, like, well, they were armed and they were protesters and one of their people got shot. I completely understand that. And listen, for those of you who don't know the situation, I'm going to put the article on the bottom and you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, when this event was taking place, it was quite exciting, I must say. It was exciting, you know, because it was like the Wild Wild West. They went out there with horses and guns, and they were there for a purpose. Now, I know blacks will say, well, we were there for a purpose too, because Black Lives Matter and blacks were being killed by police. But come on, y'all, think about it. Okay, you still comparing yourself with white people, man, and you're still considered 3/5 of a human. You're not really considered to be a whole human being. And not only that, unfortunately, many of us act like animals. We're not organized. They were organized. And they had others backing them. And then plus it had a lot to do with the attorney that they had and the cause that they felt that they were actually fighting for. Now, you guys were talking about Black Lives Matter, which turned out to be a lot of criminals that were being gunned down by police. Of course, that's no excuse for police to shoot unarmed black males. But the thing that they used against y'all is the fact that you kill yourselves. The fact that blacks hate blacks. The fact, just look on YouTube alone. You have blacks killing blacks. You have blacks calling other blacks niggers and coons and all of these racial terms. And then you got black females against black males. You're unorganized. The world takes you as a joke because you can't even take yourself serious. How are you going to come together and protest Black Lives Matter when you're killing each other? When you hate each other, when you can't stand each other? And when you look at the Bundy brothers, they came together, they organized, armed for a reason. They were protecting their rights, what they felt was their property. They were protecting wildlife, a wildlife refuge. That's what they were protecting. So they had a lawyer that was, I guess, apparently good at what he was doing. And then they had people that were backing them. It was exciting. I remember that. They went out there like cowboys and they like, look, you ain't coming here. You're not coming here taking nothing, federal government, because you ain't got no power here. We're willing to lose our lives for this. So they were fighting for a cause. Now, I'm not saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is not really a cause, but it's a joke. It's a joke because you're not organized. As a matter of fact, every day of the week, man, it's like, what are you doing within the black community itself? Now, I'm sure there's a lot of black males that's in college. There's a lot of black women that's in college. Okay? But for the most part, and I know the media has a lot to do with it, but a lot of the stuff that we see that goes on in the black community is put out there by blacks. When you upload foolishness on the internet, you upload black on black violence and crime, and you upload videos that's anti-black. You upload video, and blacks are always fighting. There's always tribal wars going on among black folks on the internet. So when the world sees that, how do you expect the world to take you serious? when you decide to finally stand up for what you perceive as a cause. Nobody want to deal with you. And when you divide and separate yourself and say, this is for black people, this is Black Lives Matter, all other lives don't matter, we don't care about anybody else but blacks, and then you get on video and talk about white people calling them racial terms, and then you expect these same white people to get in court in their courts and judge in favor of you when you were just freed from captivity, or your people were just freed not too long ago. It's not long at all that blacks really start getting so-called rights, because we all know that blacks technically really don't have too many rights. You know, you have a right to try to advance yourself in society. You have a right to get an education, and I keep stressing that. You have a right to go out and support your family, get a job, start a business. Black males, look at you. It's like you get these females pregnant and then you leave them to become single parent moms. Black Americans are the laughing stock of the world. So how do you expect other people to take you serious when you can't take yourself serious? How could you sit there and compare yourself with whites that go through the system and then is acquitted? How could you find, and just look at the voting thing, man. Just look at the voting. Blacks are so brainwashed and controlled that you have no idea what's happening to you. You guys are like diehard democrats. Diehard democrats. All the information is put out on the table that's against Hillary Clinton. And I didn't mean to bring this in there, but all this stuff that's against her, and they showing you this is what you're getting. And so what do? You attack Trump supporters. You attack anybody else that's, and now they're making a mockery out of you. Your own party's making a mockery out of you. They're dogging you out, and you still holding on to this criminal. You guys have a criminal mindset. You have a criminal mentality, and you support criminology. That's why you sticking with the Democratic Party, and you don't want to work for nothing. I'm not saying all blacks, but for the most part, blacks want everything free. Blacks want things given to them. Blacks just want people to fall at their feet, and you were just recently freed not too long ago. So why are you comparing yourself with the Bundy brothers? These guys weren't fighting for race. They weren't out there talking about white lives matter and white man and kill the black man, and they weren't doing that. Now, I know some of y'all are going to come on the video and talk about the clans and slavery and, you know, our people, but you guys are holding on stuff, man, and you're not moving on in life, man. So why are you sitting there holding on to a history that you never lived, right? And still you're not doing anything to better yourself in life, to make your life and your family and your community a whole lot better. You're not doing that. But every time something comes up where a white person is acquitted because they did something, you know, that we felt they should have, you know, been convicted, then it's like, oh, okay, the white man did this and he got away with it. The black man, if it had been a black man, if it was a black man, and then you got this dude, this black politician dude that's going to stand up and say, if Donald Trump was black, this would have happened, and this would have happened, and that would have happened. Stop comparing yourself to these white folks, man. This is their system. This is their world, right? So unless you take responsibility for yourself, unless you do what you need to do to stand up and protect your community from yourselves, that's destroying the community. The world is not going to respect you, man. You can't expect people to respect you when you don't even respect yourself, right? So I'm going to put that article on the bottom about the Bundy brothers that was acquitted in the takeover, okay? But blacks, y'all got to stop whining, man, every time a white person is acquitted over something, because I mean, this is like night and day. No pun intended. This is like night and day. Two different mentalities, two different lifestyles. Yeah, white people kill each other too, but how often do you hear that in the media? Right? But every time you turn the TV on, and again, you can't always blame the media because blacks are posting things about themselves on the internet. You guys are putting that out there. You guys are fighting among yourselves. Everything is like, I was strolling YouTube just recently, man, and all I saw was black this, black that, black this, black this, black that, black this, black, male, black, female, black this, black, and y'all are fighting among yourselves. You are fighting among yourself. You hate each other. You can't stand each other. So you can't expect somebody to take you serious when you want to stand up and try to protest in favor of something, and then you want to protest blackness, and that like excludes everybody else. You're being selfish. That's excluding everybody. So when you exclude everybody and just put things primarily black, and at the same time you're doing this, you're spewing racial comments towards other blacks and whites, then you can't expect them to jump on your bandwagon and support you. Now, there's going to be a few whites that's going to support you, but not a whole lot. Because there were whites out there that were protesting along with you, and those whites that were out there protesting along with you, they weren't giving any props. Everything was about Black Lives Matter. And then when somebody say, oh, all lives matter, now you're against them. Just look at what you're doing to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather said all lives matter. Again, like I mentioned in one of my last videos, it has a lot to do, man, with where you've been in life, man, your experiences. Because every black person don't have the same experience. So you can't expect them to jump on that Black Lives Matter bandwagon. Now, some may do it, like I mentioned, in support of blacks or the black community, but you can't even control your own kids. You can't control your children, man. Your children are out of control. Teachers don't even want to deal with your kids in school, right? They go to school, want to fight the teacher, want to curse the teacher out, don't want to learn, skipping class, and then they're killing each other. So how can you expect to be taken serious, even by the judicial system, when you can't take yourself serious? Other blacks can't take you serious. And other blacks are trying to move away from you because of the fact that you are so violent. So, I mean, there's people that expected the Bundys to be, convicted, okay? But apparently they had a pretty good lawyer, and they had others that were backing them. You know, the community was backing them, and they applauded and cheered when they were acquitted. You know, and they felt that, the government is not going to take over their land. This is our land, and you're not taking it out, even if it means. And same thing goes along with gun rights. They're coming after the white man's guns. They don't want that. They want this one world government, man. They want the government to run everything, a world without borders. Just like in biblical times when they, were talking about the Tower of Babel. They were all of one language, and they decided to come together and build a tower that would reach heaven. And the Most High confused their language and scattered them. Okay, now they're trying the same thing, trying to come back together, the New World Order. And people's minds have been hacked. Humans, their minds have been hacked to function the way the government wants your mind to function. You're not even thinking on your own. Self-destruction, a lot of that I think was programmed into your system because you've been hacked. So you can't even see your way. There's a veil that's been placed over your eyes. And you actually think you're doing the right thing when in reality, you're helping to destroy yourself. Right? So I'm going to put that article on the bottom and you guys feedback and tell me what you think. But blacks, you got to stop comparing yourself with white people, man. Unless you take control of yourselves, of your communities. Start, instead of destroying and tearing down your community, start building your communities. You know, if you don't want the white man or the police to protect you and you don't trust them, then maybe you need to start patrolling your own communities, man. The drug dealers, you guys don't want to snitch on the people that's taking you guys out. The gangbangers. You don't want to snitch. You see a murder take place, and you talking about, I'm not snitching. I'm not telling. But then you're crying out, talking about this needs to stop. All this killing needs to stop. See, so you guys are destroying yourself. So you can't control, and you can't compare yourself with white people do. You know, you can't compare yourself with the Bundy brothers, because they had, and I was down with them. To be honest, I'm down. I was down with them. I was happy to see them go out, man, like cowboys. Like, look, if we ready to go down, we taking over this piece right here because we have some issues. We're not going to allow the government to come in and take over. But look at what they're doing to the black community. Gentrification, man, it happens all the time. What you call the ghetto, man, here is the government comes right in and take it right from under you, pushing you further out. They did the Native Americans the same way, the Indians. Look what they did to Harlem. So they can come right in and there's no fight. There's no resistance from blacks. This is what you call home. You don't own nothing, but you call this home. You know, you call it home and they come and they take it over. And then you complain about gentrification when you didn't stand up to fight for your home. You don't fight for nothing. You don't even fight for your own freedom in your own communities. So you can't expect people to take you serious when you try to rail and fight or whine against what happened with the Bundy brothers when they were acquitted. Yeah, they took it over, they armed, but they came out different. Look at what happened with all the riots, man. Whenever you guys protest, next thing you know, like businesses broken into, man, things are set on fire, man. You're rioting and protesting. You become a menace. You actually become a menace. These people are like, listen, we are armed. Yes, we are armed, and we will defend ourselves because we have a purpose here. You know, we're defending what we feel belongs to us. They call it the Bundy Ranch. So we're defending that ranch. And we're not going to allow the federal government to come in and dictate to us and take our land away from us. Now, I don't know if anybody had any deeds or whatnot, but you're not coming in here. Even if it means we lose our lives, you're not coming in here. But yet in Harlem, in the black community, man, in Brooklyn, it's like the white man came right in, took your neighborhood, pushed you guys out. Pushed you in a corner where you're going to just destroy yourself. And it's sad because everywhere black people go, it's like you destroy what you have, man. You destroy it. You can have a nice neighborhood. You move into a nice neighborhood, and then other blacks move into that same nice neighborhood, and then white people move out, and then before long, that what was once a nice neighborhood now becomes the hood. Loud music and everything. Black people are noisy, man. Blacks are noisy people. Who wants to live around a bunch of noise? Everywhere you go is noise. Loud cookout, man. You got these motorbikes racing up and down the street. You know, you got kids out there fighting and the police on the street. You can't be taken serious. So how are you going to sit there and complain and whine about the Bundys being acquitted when you guys are not doing what you're supposed to do to protect yourself or where you live against people that look like you? So I'm going to put the article on the bottom. You guys feedback and tell me what you think. Subscribe. If you don't like what you hear, unsubscribe. If you choose to financially support this channel, there's a link right on the bottom, a PayPal link. You can go right there and just donate some money. And until next time, see, a workman is worthy of his hire. I'm fearless.